curious, you work with a lot of senior executives, right?
Yes.
What are some of the most common problems and challenges that senior executives face, and what is your approach to resolve these kind of challenges?
Yeah. I find that emotional intelligence is the biggest challenge that leaders face. If you ask them, they will say, okay, it's growth, it's profit, people management. Of course, all these are there. They are under the stress of producing results, managing uncertainty, managing people. But these are all external challenges. What many of them don't realize is that the key to resolve external challenges lies within them. So I'm a very strong believer of the fact that leadership starts from the self. How self aware are you? Do you know your strengths and weaknesses, your mindset? Do you know which values and principles you stand for? How do you manage difficult emotions? The individual leader has to do a lot of inner work. Now, inner work means the work that we have to do on ourselves before we start working on others and producing external results. This is part of emotional intelligence. Unfortunately, I have not met too many leaders with very well developed emotional intelligence. That is, I believe, a gap. So I work with them on building self awareness. We do 360 feedback, personality questionnaires. Now, some leaders are unwilling to do a 360 feedback. I've met such clients. So if a leader is unwilling to introspect and reflect on his own actions and behaviors, then he doesn't earn the right to tell others to reflect on themselves. So a lot of times leader will talk about them versus me. Could be their boss, their team, the system, etc. Every time the problem is the other person outside of them. All and they see this person or the system or everything is the enemy, and all energies are focused on demolishing this enemy outside of them. What about the enemy within? Now, there are few leaders who have the wisdom to see that if they are pointing one finger to the external stuff, there are four fingers pointing at themselves. Now, if I find a leader like this, then it's a great pleasure to work with such a leader, because this is a leader you can really work on and produce magnificent results. This is like a diamond in the rough. So, here the potential of results from coaching are very, very.
It's interesting. So what you're saying is that most of the times people are ready to work on others, but not ready to work on themselves because they just don't see the problem within themselves. They
Yes,
probably think that they are perfect, they are the ones who are in charge. So they have to kind of keep pushing others. But when it comes to self-awareness, or let's say finding difficulties with your own self, since they are unwilling to see, they don't recognize it at all.
that's true. That's true. To be a leader, the first thing you have to work is on your own self. And you have to be willing to look at the mirror and say, okay, this is good about me, this is not so good about me. And I will accept that these are not so good things about me, and I'm happy to work on them to improve them if they really impact his job.
So acceptance is the beginning of all the approaches, basically.
Yes.
And as you said, there are also some leaders who are like few, but they are who are ready to self-reflect, and they kind of see the value in self-reflection and working on themselves first before trying to change other systems.
Yes, there are leaders, and you will be able to see that their achievement and success is higher than those who are unwilling to look at themselves in the mirror.
And what I understand is what you have said is like since they most of the problem is kind of not self-reflecting as much as they would need to, they always find problems outsideward more, right? That is like things are not happening as per their wish, or things are not changing, probably because there might be some vibes or some energies which they are kind of emitting, and they are themselves not responsible, and it might be affecting their communication, etc.
I think you've put the finger on the right thing. The vibes that they emit via their emotions, via their behavior, via their communication, the tone in which they communicate, the choice of their words, it can
Right.
have either a very positive impact or a very negative impact on the team. And that's how people will respond to you. What is the input you have given to them, and then they will respond only to that. If you're giving good input, garbage in, garbage out. If you give in good input, you'll get good out.
Right. That's interesting. Very interesting observations there.